following the statement, if you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand, get my attention. I'll point to you guys just to get an order going. We'll go ahead and get started with the statement. Coach?
I typically not speechless, but don't know where to really start on this one, other than the fact that myself, our staff, is just so stinking proud of the young men that put on full display today. You know what they're all about. We're not looking in the rear view, but it's no secret that last Sunday was a tough day for us, a tough start to the season. We really challenged the group to immediately flush it. Even before we left New Jersey, we were on a short week with a quick turnaround, playing a team that had two games under their belt, and the way that group responded did not surprise me, but does not change the fact that I'm incredibly proud of them. We showed up, we got back into it Tuesday, which is like a typical Monday, where you should still be resting and recovering. We were in half pads. It was a full-on practice. We were getting better. We were competing. They came back with another great practice on Wednesday, continued to stay focused. And our staff just really challenged this group to control two things. And that's their process and their passion. And, the process was fun to see today, especially in the second half. The process, staying consistent with it, started to show up in production, and the passion was just so noticeable. And I really want to thank everyone that came out today, our band being there, parents, supporters, fans, for our guys to walk off the bus and, go through that Wildcat walk and walk into the locker room, the energy that was around Ryan Field. We've talked about in fall camp how critical it was for us to be able to protect Ryan Field, protect our home field advantage. We got off to a great start today, and so much credit to our guys for responding to the challenge. That is a special group of young men in there, and credit to them, our staff, our support staff, all of our support that has worked so hard to get us to this point.
Congratulations, Coach. Just personally, what does it mean for you to record your first win as head coach of this program?
I appreciate the question, but I'll tell you right now, this is our win. This is our win. That's it means so much to me because it was with an incredible group of people that I really appreciate the way that they've navigated all this. So pretty special to do it with this group.
Go Matt next.
Coach, you had a pretty great second half there. What was the change out of the half from 7-7 to 38-7? Like, what clicked for you guys?
We keep talking about complementary football, and what complementary football is it's not flashy. It's not it's not instant gratification. It takes time. It takes 4 quarters. And I think what you started to see is that complementary football, and all of a sudden our offense starts to catch some rhythm, and they're running the football, and we get a couple takeaways and a couple 3-and-outs and 4th-down stops, and all of a sudden it just domino effect, and it snowballs. And, we talked about it. We were in Ryan Field for our scrimmage a few weeks ago. We went in for a mock halftime. I told the group, this program has won many games over the years by being a great second-half team, by being a great fourth-quarter team. That's how we won today, and that's how we're going to have to continue to win. It's not going to be scoring, 28 points in the first quarter. There's nothing flashy about the way the Cats are going to win. But just so proud of the way that they came out in the second half and continued just to plug away. What a great demonstration of complementary football there in the last 2 quarters.
Andy?
Just given everything else that's gone on surrounding the program and the school, how badly did you guys need this, just from that standpoint?
I don't know if we needed it. What we need is just continued support and need one another. That's who we've leaned on. But my gosh, does it feel good to see those guys have big smiles on their face and celebrate like they are. That's I'm so stinking happy for our players. It's special day.
And you guys really controlled the ground game, something you weren't able to do against Rutgers. What was the key to unlocking, the running game and getting that going?
I think it was a commitment to it. Staying with it, and utilizing all of our guys. You saw Jack Lausch out there today, Cam Porter running the ball. I mean, just relentlessly. Some of the things that we've done throughout fall camp in terms of the way that we practice, we talked about these types of moments. We're to win games with our fundamentals, with our technique. We have to tangibly put on film every week that we're the most physical team out on the field. And the way that you saw Cam Porter run the ball today, he embodied what a Big Ten back should look like. But the commitment to the run game was key.
And Coach, you talked about your feelings and also the team's feelings. Of course you imagine this day, right? But what was kind of that initial feeling when the clock hit 0 all across?
Gratitude for the people that we're doing this with. Gratitude and a lot of humility for the opportunity. Just looking around the stadium and soaking it all in. In a lot of ways, I know that I'm ready for this moment, but in a lot of ways it still feels surreal. Gratitude for, my family, getting a chance to be with the boys and my wife and, all that they've helped me navigate the last month and a half. And I know I've said this before, but I'll keep saying it. My wife, Kristen's a rock star. I mean, she's unwavering. She's a rock. She's amazing. Such a support, not only to me, but our players, our family. Gratitude.
Coach, I remember you had Big Ten media days, and you were the only one there representing Northwestern, and you just took what seemed like 100 questions. It couldn't have been easy to do. So when you finally get this day, in a friendlier environment, is it cathartic, or what are your thoughts about that?
My thoughts are I've been charged with leading this program forward, and had an opportunity to talk to a group last night, and it starts off with supporting our players. I feel like we've done the best job we can in doing that. Secondly, it comes down to serving them, not serving my interests or other people's interests. Every decision that we've made has been through a lens of what is in the best interest of our student athletes. And then lastly, be a great steward. We don't know what the long term looks like. I mean, that's indicative of, the title I'm carrying right now. And that's okay. At the end of the day, regardless of how this plays out in the long term, my wife and I, this group is going to hopefully look back and say, we're proud of the way that we did that. We stewarded the program. We navigated it through a really difficult time and set it up to have success moving forward.
Coach, you guys had 3 takeaways today after having done last week at Rutgers. Can you talk about kind of what you did in practice to emphasize that and what you saw on those plays from Xander and Bryce?
To be honest with you, nothing changed. It's things we've been emphasizing, since I arrived. I know it was things that have been emphasized in the program for a long time. I'll give Coach Hicks, our corners coach, a lot of credit. With this transition, I've delegated a lot of responsibility on the defensive side. Not calling the defense, but just the logistical things, and he's taken over our ball disruption circuit. It's something we committed to every single pre-practice of fall camp. We've committed to it every single Thursday during the week. Mac Uline, one of our linebackers, was the guy on the sideline making sure that we were continuing to attack the football throughout practice this week, so his energy was certainly appreciated. But I think what you're starting to see is, defensively, we're going to make sure that we play with great leverage and put our guys in opportunities to play some man coverage, play some tight coverage, but we're also going to put our guys in situations to play, spacing, vision, ball out break defense, and that's looking at the ball. Galley's play, he's taught to be looking at the quarterback, looking at the ball. And when you look at the ball, you have opportunities to attack the ball, and it comes down to our D-line play too. As we continued to get into the second half, it's not just complementary football in all three phases. It's complementary back seven and front four play. The better we cover, the more time we give to the D-line to get home. The more the D-line gets home and makes the quarterback uncomfortable, the more, ill-advised decisions that quarterback makes. Those sacks and interceptions, it's not coincidence that both of them showed up today. And that certainly is something we need to make sure continues.
Coach, do you have any update on Ben Bryant's injury? And was the decision not to put him back in the game part of a function of the big lead you had, or was that entirely based on his health?
Yeah, no, I'm not. To be honest with you, I'm not sure. That's something we'll evaluate as we get back in tomorrow.
Coach, both Jack Lausch and AJ Henning were used in really creative ways today. From your defensive coordinator background, can you talk about how players like that and those types of players can just create a mismatch defensively and how they become additionally difficult to guard?
Yeah, AJ's just really difficult because you just don't know where he's going to line up, and then you start to ask, what calls do I really have on my menu? And if I get into this call, is he going to out-leverage? I mean, there's just, do we really want to play man when he's on the field? There's so much going on there. And then, Jack, I'll tell you what, I'll just be really honest with you. Ben Bryant, when he's ticking from an efficiency standpoint, scary quarterback. Brendan Sullivan, the same. I mean, Ryan Helinski coming in. Those guys are weapons, for a lot of reasons. But when Jack is in the game, you better be incredibly aware as a play caller of what you're playing. Do you really want to play certain coverages and be exposed to some quarterback run game? Oh, it's drop back pass, and yeah, we covered this all up, but all of a sudden Jack takes off with his feet. He's a weapon and a credit to our offensive staff for utilizing him today. It was fun to see him out there. And you know what? I just want to speak to, we challenge our guys with passion. Ben, you saw it out of Ryan, Sully leading like a champ, and Jack. I mean, you talk about a group of guys that truly cares about one another. None of those guys care, who's getting the glory. They're just busting their butt, working for one another. Cole Freeman, our scout team quarterback's on the sideline going. I mean, just special group of young men in that room.
And Coach, you talked about earlier about snowball effect, right, with the play in the second half. Did you feel like there was any play or a collection of plays in start of the third quarter that you saw like the tide turning a little bit, or not?
There was, there's not a specific play that comes to mind, but you could just sense it. We were staying ahead of the chains, we were staying ahead of the sticks, we were efficient in the run game. That was leading to efficiency in the pass game. The visuals I have, there's a couple of them today, is just an O-line straining and celebrating 3-yard gains. 3-yard gains on first down, hey, let's go. 4-yard gains on first down, man, that's a big deal. Let's celebrate those. Let's celebrate that process. And then just Cam Porter playing, running the ball with, I mean, it was fun to watch. That dude was not going to be denied. It was credit to him. One heck of an effort, and he knows just as well as all of us know. That's just a byproduct of 11 dudes on the field straining and pushing to help him get every yard that he earned.
Just to follow that up, can you talk more about the defensive line, right, and just seeing them step up? We see, younger guys like Anto Saka just stepping up, but also guys that have been here, right, that have gotten reps. What's kind of like that dynamic with young guys and older guys seeing that mesh?
It's a credit to Sean McLaughlin and Aiden Hubbard, and I mean the list just goes on and on. PJ Spencer is our starting defensive tackle, came here as a walk-on, developed his butt off, played mostly DN last year. Just, I mean, embodies what we want to be as a program and specifically as a D-line. And the thing that's really neat about that group is just the camaraderie that exists. You get a chance to be around those guys. They push one another. They care about one another. We're playing with depth at that position right now and rotating guys in, which is really exciting. That is a group that if you walked in February, you would go, you know what, where do we go from here with this D-line group? And now I look at that group and go, hey, guys, how good can we be? We've just scratched the surface of how good that group can be.
more, Eli, then Phil.
Yeah, Coach, when those final seconds ticked off the clock, one of the first people to go to was Thomas Gordon. A lot of smiles, big hugs from where we could see. What was going on in that conversation you two had?
You know, just a lot of joy. A lot of joy. And again, I don't mean to overuse the word, but a lot of gratitude. I didn't know Thomas very well before I came into this role. You know, I was so focused on the defense side of the ball and building relationships with those guys. And he's a young man that over the course of the last month and a half, I feel like he and I have gotten to know each other very, very well. Really appreciate his passion, his commitment to this program, commitment to his teammates. I think it was just two guys that were very joyful about the victory and grateful to be working together on something pretty special.
Okay. Coach, the attendance was lighter compared to last season, but I want to get a sense from you. Did you guys notice that, and what the support has been like over the last few weeks from the campus and around town?
The support from our alumni, from our supporters, from the greater community, those that are, that's what we're paying attention to, and we feel it, whether it be letters, whether it be people out at practice. The people that were here today were heard, and we just want to continue to invite people to be a part of this, to support this group of student athletes that is, writing. They're writing a pretty special story, and we've talked about it. We are going to control and dominate our process. We're going to control and dominate our passion, and that's where all my energy was, is really getting a sense of where the passion was at on our sideline, and how contagious that was. But it started with that Wildcat walk. We got off that bus, the band, parents, supporters, cheering our guys on as they were going to the locker room. We invite this entire community to be a part of that. We're looking forward to more opportunities to play at Ryan Field.
Last question, Gavin.
Coach, the offensive line struggled that last week, but this week 184 rushing yards, almost 5 yards a carry. Can you talk about what was different this week and what it really took for that unit to come together?
I hadn't looked at the stats yet, but over 5 yards a carry. Let's go. Let's go. That's awesome. No, it's a credit to that group. Credit to Coach Anderson. A credit to a commitment to the run game. With Coach Bajakian. It just, again, I think it just embodies and reflects the resiliency of this group. That group easily could have, been frustrated with the outcome last week. They came back to work. They battled their butts off. They played with a ton of effort and energy. That's something that we will continue to challenge them on. We need that out of that group every single week. If we want to have the outcomes we're looking for, that group specifically is going to be a huge part of everything that we do.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, everyone.
If you want to go ahead and raise your hand, get my attention. If you have a question for a specific player, please direct your attention to camera, Jack. Bradley.
Question for Jack, just kind of going into this week, did you know that your role was going to be as it was, and at what point did you find out you were going to get those chances, and what did it mean to you to actually be able to execute them?
I knew that I would have an opportunity to get the ball a little bit in this game, and I just wanted to make the most of it. I was excited. I appreciate the other guys on the team. They played great. Those plays aren't made without those guys. So, but yeah, I did know, and I was excited for them. So.
Cam, it seemed like in the second half, a lot of the offense was predicated on your running. Was there something said at halftime or something different that clicked in the second half why that was successful?
We were having some early success in the first half with some different run schemes. And Coach kind of came in at halftime and said that we were gonna get back to pounding the rock. The offensive line did their job, and they played great, and I was able to find some creases and just keep the ball rolling. So some little adjustments, but we were kind of just running our same schemes.
Jack, in a game where 3 different quarterbacks have touchdowns, what's the dynamic like between you guys on the sidelines?
I think it's awesome. We have a great room. Everybody really appreciates each other, and I think that it's a cool way to show that we can score in a lot of different ways. And I'm happy that everybody worked together, and we just appreciate each other, and it was great on the sideline.
For both of you guys, Coach Braun described to us a feeling of gratitude after the winning. What are a few words you guys would use to describe the mood of the post-game locker room?
I would gratitude for sure. Everyone's thankful to win and to do it together, especially. I think just excited. I think guys, have a feeling of what it's like to win. I think we're looking forward to continue to do that.
I think Coach hit it on the nose, Jack hit it on the nose. Gratitude definitely, because we've been through a lot. You know what I mean? A lot of ups and downs throughout the off season, man. But we stuck together, and we've just found a way to win. You know what I mean? Like that's not easy. They're still a Division I football team, and they were a good opponent. You know what I mean? But we came together and we made a choice that we were gonna come out victorious.
As Cam just described, it's been a lot of ups and downs. How much of a distraction, if any, has all the scrutiny been, and was this win today cathartic? And this for both of you guys.
I think I wouldn't say a distraction. You know what I mean? We've been dealing with it for a long time now, you know what I mean? And we made a choice that, like I said, that we're going to come together, you know what I mean? And we're going to give our all this season, and I feel like that's what we've been doing. And this is just a start, and we're going to continue to grow as a team and continue to try to win football games.
Yeah, I think, piggybacking off of Cam, I think the leaders on our team, coaches and players, did a great job of, keeping the main thing and getting ready for this football season. And I think, as players, we've done a great job of keeping our focus, where it needs to be. So.
You kind of talked about that second half and the run game, right? Did you feel like was there anything or any plays where you felt like, okay, the tide is really turning here, that it's like momentum's in our hands?
Yeah, I think early in the second half, you know what I mean, once we start rolling a little bit, those 5-6 yard runs, those start to wear on defenses, you know what I mean? They feel it, you know what I mean? And just like they feel it, we feel it, you know what I mean? It's a momentum thing. So once we were starting to pick up those tough 5-6 yard gains, we knew that momentum was kind of going in our favor.
I have a question for either of you guys. Cam, you kind of mentioned that this was the start of something longer for the rest of the season. How do you guys plan on maintaining this against tougher opponent? Number 21 Duke next week. Just right. What does that look like to continue that throughout the year?
Like Coach Braun said after the game, you know what I mean, 24-hour rule, you know what I mean? Enjoy the game, enjoy the win, because we worked for it, but now we're shifting our focus, you know what I mean? We can't ride the highs of last week. Duke is a great opponent, but we're excited to go down there and try to get after him.
This is for either one of you. The Northwestern football Twitter just posted some snapshots from the locker room. Looked like you guys were having a great time in there. So two-part question. One, can you just describe what the energy was like? And two, we saw some dance circles. Who in the locker room has the best moves?
I can answer the first question. I think, again, just excited. I think just, we put in a lot of hard work this past week, to game plan for this team. And, to see that come out with a win, I think is awesome, for the whole program. And as far as moves, I had one name, Brennan Flakes, pops into my head. He pops. That's
B Flakes, man. Joe D with the late interception, man. We threw him in there. He was doing his thing. So, shout out to Joe DeHaan.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Sweet. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Yeah. I talked a little bit earlier. The huge emphasis for us this fall camp and off season was getting the ball out. A lot of that was working on our hands and making sure we can catch the ball. Did it after practice every day the last couple months, and that was a huge emphasis for us. And then getting in passing lanes and just dropping the ball was a huge emphasis for this team and this defense.
And just to follow that up, you were once in Anto's position, right, being an up and coming guy. Yeah. Can you talk about some, seeing the younger guys step up and just make a difference on the defense?
Yeah, it's huge. We need 103 guys to go and win these games, and the scout looks from everyone on the team throughout the week is super important. We've been able to get a lot of reps, and I think it just shows our coaches are helping get us prepared, and our scout team guys are doing a great job getting us ready for that.
This is for both guys. Obviously over the summer, the program was taking a lot of criticism, but even, the players were probably hearing it. I want to know how much of that you guys heard, and how do you feel about it now, and about, reforms now that, the university says they're going to undertake?
Yeah, the huge emphasis for us was just brotherhood. We know who we are, we know our character. Try to block out the outside noise and focus on task at hand, which is winning games, and sticking together is a huge part of that.
It started to quiet down once we started to really come together as a team. Obviously, it's a lot to deal with, but, once you trust in your guys, you trust in the people that are put in the position to take you to that next level, you just put your head and go. And it quiets down, and you're just ready to work.
Anzo, can you talk more about the D-line room, right? Just a lot of younger guys, but also a lot of older guys like Sean, like Aiden, right? Can you talk about that mesh and seeing you guys coming alive and making your own name in case?
We have a great dynamic. We build each other up. We all we have some. Not only is it a great dynamic, we have depth there, so we're able to rotate through guys. Everybody's special in their own way, and we mesh together well. The older guys have been a key part of developing our younger guys. Just not only trying to worry about themselves, but worry about making sure everybody is cohesive. So they've been an instrumental part in my development. Young guys like Brendan Flakes and others are a major part of our development.
Xander, can you just break down for me what you saw in that interception and why you were able to be in the right place at the right time?
Yeah, didn't have an immediate threat right away, so I kind of zoned off, high to low on that play, and then so the quarterback looking over to that Dover, his eyes were on him, so I was pretty sure he was going to throw that ball, and then I just jumped it, and probably should have played a little bit more offense growing up. Played a lot of linebacker, so I couldn't find the end zone, but that's the goal next time.
Question for kind of both of you guys. Last week it seemed like the offense could struggle to get in a rhythm. You guys were consistently on the field. There was much more balance today. Just what does that mean for you guys as a defense to have more rest and be able to make plays?
Yeah, it's a team game. I mean, Coach Braun preached complementary football. I mean, it doesn't matter how good one side of the ball is if the other one can't play together. And I think balancing off each other is a huge way to get momentum and get wins.
Instrumental.
For either one of you guys, I asked the same question to the offensive guys that came here, but we saw some pictures from the locker room post-celebration, a dance circle going on. Can you talk about what that environment was like walking into the locker room and celebrating with everyone? And then second, who on the team had the best dance moves?
This guy right here, he was the first one out there.
I'll
in
take
the charge.
that. But you work so hard for moments like this, especially given how long it's been. So, of course, we're going to come out there. We're going to give our best sides because we deserved it. We put in the work during practice and we put it out on the field. So,
yeah, obviously, very few coaches, if any, come into a job like Coach Braun has had, facing the circumstances that he has had to face. You guys are with him every day. How have you watched him handle all of this? With the scrutiny, with the rough start against Rutgers, and just what have you learned about him through this process?
I think he's one of the most honest people, one of the most humble people I've ever met. That's a great qualities to have in a leader, especially given the situation. He's been incredible in stepping up and kind of being truthful to us, but also being there for us. And he's an awesome man, a man of faith, and a huge role model for me. Yeah.
He's handled things with great class, and one thing that I love about him, even the first day he walked in here as the defensive coordinator, he is a player's coach. He will make sure that you're right, even before we start talking about ball. We'll talk about life at home, what's going on, making sure your mental is right, and that's what makes him such a great coach. And now putting that with the passion that he coaches the game with, just doing everything again to get us to be a cohesive unit, he's the greatest.
For both of you guys, for everyone on the defense, what, if anything, has changed, even in the day-to-day and meeting rooms or in anything, since Coach Braun has moved from being just the defensive coordinator to the head coach role?
Honestly, not a lot has changed. I think his focus is still on the defense. I mean, he's still putting enough time, and we got an awesome staff around him that stepped up a lot, and I think everyone's done a good job of keeping that focus.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
Then, like I said, Coach Braun's your defensive coordinator. This was his first one as a head coach. What does it mean to you guys to be part of that experience for him?
I'm just happy for him. Obviously he was thrust into a position he was not expected to be in, taking the helm of this at a weird time. So, just for us to go out and get this done for him, it means the world to him. It actually means the world to us. So the only thing we can do is just keep on supporting him. Hopefully, keep on winning.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.